that say, I was affected by it. And I'm not sure this is going to rise to the level of that in this case, because we had, a couple of incidents, and in one of them, after the settlement announcement, they actually revoir dired the ones that had been chosen. They all said either they hadn't heard it or they could remain impartial. They were clear in voir dire that they could put aside the things that were going on, listen to the evidence, judge it just on the evidence. And unless a defense attorney can come up with actual evidence that they were affected by the outside influences, for instance, with a statement from one of the jurors, very difficult to get it overturned.
Yeah, 100%. You have to show not only did something happen and that reached the jurors, so you'd have to show that information regarding, the right killing, reached the jurors, and then they used that information and it played a role in their decision-making process in this case. And you have to show that causal connection. So it's not just that they heard about it, they had to hear about it and it had to affect them in some way that would have negatively impacted the verdict outcome. So it's a really very high bar. I've said this a few times. I really think this case was solidly tried. I think that we can look back and, hindsight is 2020, and we can question Judge Cahill's decision on whether or not to sequester this jury from the very beginning. And I've kind of gone back and forth in my own mind on it. But, it's going to be difficult to prove that something did happen and it negatively impacted. And by the way, jurors are protective of their verdicts too. They'll defend their verdicts. Mm-hmm. And so it'll be difficult to get them to say, oh yeah, I was affected by that outside piece of information.
Well, another interesting thing about her interview was she actually said that she wasn't even aware of how big this case was. It wasn't until after she was released and she saw President Biden speaking about it that she really realized just how much this case meant. So I found that interesting as well.